You're listening to Social TV Newscast with me, Sam Marshall, your source for inspiring stories about corporate social responsibility and sustainable development. Today, we have the privilege of speaking with Nicole Solomon, AECI's Head of Social Responsibility and Sustainability. Nicole has been instrumental in AECI's pioneering partnership with Oliver's Village, a community project in Daveyton, Gauteng, that has blossomed into a self-sustaining ecosystem, empowering the local community and demonstrating the power of sustainable development. Nicole, thank you for joining us today. Before we get into our discussion around Oliver's Village and the partnership between AECI, you recently celebrated a centenary of operation as an organization, but I assume that's also 100 years of reflection. You did the opening bell at the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. Just very quickly reflect on this 100 years for us.
It's difficult to put it in words because there's so much to say, but if I had to find the best word for me, it's legacy. And you know, we use the word legend and legacy very loosely, but one of the writers who signed up to write the documentary and the book of our journey said it like this and said, it's an absolute honor to write the story of a company that has shaped this country. Now, for me, that means legacy. It means that had we not existed, our mining industry wouldn't have evolved as it has, because we really started out of a need for, let's say in those years, a dynamite factory. That's where it was birthed, and that's how we have grown and evolved as an organization. And our CEO often says that AECI is an institution. It's not just a company, and that actually really is true, because we're a force to be reckoned with, but we don't really brag about, you know, our achievements but we just carry on and we evolve and we pivot every single time. We plotted a history and we looked at the different industries, eras, and struggles that we've had to overcome as an organization throughout this 100-year journey. There was a war, there was apartheid, there was an oil crisis, there was a depression, and we survived all of those. And for me, that talks to grit, resilience, and again, legacy.
Nicole, so, you know, this brings us to our conversation around another pioneering project. And there seems to be this appetite to really, and I don't want to use it, to your words, use words loosely, but there seems to be an appetite for game-changing projects. And Oliver's Village, that started out as a soup kitchen, now benefits more than 600 beneficiaries, has grown from this very small idea into this kind of 11-acre off-the-grid village. Just talk to me, and you're one of the pioneering partners of this development. Talk to me about the alignment of this project, talk to me about the core values of this project, and talk to me about the long-term vision for a project that I almost want to say this, and I'm sure somebody will fact-check me, but this is an incredibly unique project that might not, as a total, exist anywhere in South Africa.
You're quite right. I'm yet to find a project that ticks so many boxes in terms of sustainability. If we had to talk about alignment for us, this project aligns strongly with our commitment to develop sustainable initiatives and to develop sustainable livelihoods. On a 180-degree, 360-degree view, if you stand on this village, AECI has started an initiative over the last 8-10 years that we've been a partner with this village. Yes, you're quite right. It started out as a soup kitchen. It was Oliver's house. So very much in the charitable space, looking after vulnerable members of the Daveyton community, and evolved with the need that was seen to not just give handouts, but hands up. And so the village evolved into an education center, an early childhood development center, food gardens to source the soup kitchens at first, and then evolved into commercial food gardens. Then we saw the need to train people, and we started an agriculture college. We then saw the need to add a bakery. We then trained, and our engineers of our organization actually built these wood burning ovens because we didn't want to go the coal route or the electricity route, which is more harmful to the environment. It then evolved into boreholes and underground water facilities, rainwater harvesting. And so the community has access to millions of liters of water when there's water outages, as well as this enterprise development section where on a weekly basis, the vision is to sell produce, to sell vegetables, to sell, there are only over 300 fruit trees, to sell jams and your preservatives, to sell bread, as well as various other community initiatives that we can bring in. We've also added a mobile clinic that visits the village on a quarterly basis. Now it's evolved into a bi-weekly basis to, excuse me, I forgot the farm, which is also a high income element. There's multiple elements, and we walk this journey. In the days where solar was unheard of, we did solar. So the school, the education center uses hundreds of computers, electricity, and makes use of solar energy. And this was over 10 years ago.
So with the success of Oliver's Village, right? Of course, heavily influenced by your organization and its thinking. There must be lessons that you've learned that impacts everything else. So obviously this project started out as something, it's now become this major success. It's got 600 beneficiaries. It's truly become sustainable. Does that then change the lens for AECI to say, but hold on, if we're doing it at this scale, we can no longer really afford to do this, and not to be disrespectful to the smaller projects, but you do start then saying, but hold on, we can't do this anymore because this is really about just handing handouts, and we need to really about thinking about hand ups.
Absolutely. So Sam, we've learned a lot of lessons. I'll touch on a few. One major one that stands out for me is community ownership. So advocacy and engagements with community up front to take ownership of extremely expensive capital investments such as this is important, because we've seen other projects where, it's been done and it's been vandalized within days. In other words, if there's no buy-in from the major stakeholders within the community, you might as well stop your investment. So for me, community ownership is key. Then there's the management of the organization itself. If they don't have the commitment and drive to continue this project and to grow it and the vision to grow it, again, you might as well stop. And you're quite right. We've evolved as an organization. Charitable donations for us just does not work. During COVID, we actually did food parcels just like everyone else and found that it's not sustainable. So we then piloted about 6 mini Oliver's villages within our communities. These are bakeries, commercial food gardens, but have a charitable element to it. So whatever produce is made on a day from the bakery, whatever is baked and whatever is grown, a portion is shared to an elderly home, and orphans and vulnerable children community center, etc. And the rest is sold for income to sustain these community impact projects. And that is where we really want to blueprint Oliver's and scale it to our communities. We are now doing our second layer to do what we call level up. And we're going to take these community impacts to the second layer to try and not copy, but mirror Oliver's Village to some extent. Obviously, community dynamics are very different. Oliver's Village is based in Benoni, where space is ample. It's in a farming area. When you get to the likes of your Tembisas and more peri-urban sort of areas, space is a challenge. So we have to become innovative in terms of how we, localize it and make it locally relevant. But the principles remain the same. The principles around community buy-in, the principles around management and, dedicated management and long-term vision, the principles around income generation and job creations remain the same.
And obviously when you have evidence at this scale and that it works and that you can build a community. Obviously, at the onset, when you're a pioneer, it's incredibly expensive. But
Yeah.
over time, because of the sustainability factor, it becomes a zero-sum game. How do you then take? And I heard you quite eloquently talk about forms of replication in other provinces. But how do you, and what needs to happen to say, but hold on, is this not a solution for South Africa? South Africa is diverse in many ways, but a township is a township. There's unemployment, there's young challenges. How do we replicate this model so that it becomes adaptable for municipalities, for governments, because now I assume that with the success of Oliver's Village, in almost in many ways, the hard work starts now, because now you have to lobby people to say, but guys, look at this. This works.
Yes. Look, I think lobbying is basically taking people there to experience it for themselves. It's difficult to articulate it once you actually get to see it, because the fruit are there. It demonstrates the value just from the minute you walk in. You can see the impact that it's made. You're quite right in saying that you have to bring on the right stakeholders. For us, it's about blueprinting this and identifying the right, like you say, people need to eat every day. People need to earn an income. They need to have skills. They need to have the ability to have access for the economy, and take those principles and see how best do they fit the different dynamics within our different communities, and how do they fit for purpose, and bring in the right stakeholders to say there are resources being spent in South Africa. It's just going to different buckets, if you like, and if we collaborate and partner in a more streamlined, meaningful way, there'll be such greater social impact where we will see societal change. And for us, that's the ultimate goal, to say that we took this community from the before state, where there was severe unemployment, malnutrition, hunger, lack of skills, to a after stage where there is job creation, income generation, skills development, access to the economy, and it's just growing because of the principles that are underlying these programs.
Second last question. As head of social responsibility and sustainability at AECI, how do you see projects like Oliver's Village contributing to a broader global conversation about sustainable development? And what role do you believe, and I think this is where you guys have also pioneered, the relationship building, because everybody's talking about collaboration, but what role do you believe corporations should play in driving positive change in community?
I really think we should stop sitting in ivory towers. I really think that social responsibility is the responsibility of an organization. So let me explain that. We have moved away from calling ourselves CSI, corporate social investment, because it talks to a transactional approach rather than a responsibility of the organization to improve the lives of communities around our operations. Now, if everybody saw it that way, we would really then see it, like you said earlier, through a lens of how do we change lives more meaningful. In other words, we need to start conversations, and I'm already in this process of bringing role players in our industry. I've got a few people that I've spoken to in my, industry or community of practice to say, you'd like to collaborate, but I'm not interested in coming on board to give you a sports facility or netballs, but I'd rather let you come, have a look at what we do and see how we can duplicate this in your community. And I'll happily match your funding or come on board as a partner. So the likes of your Sassels, we've had conversations like Harmony Gold, Sibanye, and Msimbiti Mine, particularly in the mining sector. But rather than looking at, clubbing together in a very less impactful way, coming together and saying, well, we've got these resources, we've got this objective, and how do we bring our objectives to meet mutual beneficial impact in the communities around our operation? Because we serve many customers, and just like most corporates, we see ourselves even responsible in the areas where we do where we have customers. So not just where we have operations, but where we gain business.
Nicole, thank you very much. We'll chat soon.
Thanks, Sam. Take care and have a great day.